Great.
Preparing to live stream the meeting. Your meeting, redirecting to YouTube.
So you won't have video on?
Yeah.
So then I can turn it off too?
No, I have video on. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Have I not got my video on?
No, I'm only seeing your picture.
Oh, okay. Weird. Okay. Well, you're here. You're live on YouTube. So say hello to the fans.
Hello. Hello, hello, hello.
Okay.
Ah, now we are both live. It's great.
Okay. Apparently it should be now. Right. And now I just press record as well. Recording. Yay. So, hello everyone. I'm here. Hi, Jody Deane. I'm here with Cristina Berar. And we're here to talk about the power of unexpected revelation and other miraculous marvels of the universe and existence. Welcome, Cristina.
Hello, and thank you so much for welcoming me to your space and to your posts and to your channels. And thank you so much for introducing what we are going to talk about. And it's really, really lovely to be here. I'm a bit surprised about how easy this is, despite my thoughts before, oh, how we are going to do this. But yeah, it seems super easy, and I'm glad to be here.
You're welcome. You're most welcome. So, Cristina, you are a coach. Is that right?
Yes.
A life coach. Yeah, we are I'm sure you're many more things than that, but you're also a life coach and a wise woman. I'm not a wise woman, but I am also a life coach, a spiritual coach. I more like to say spiritual coach or soul activation coach. So I haven't really actually really had a conversation on one of these podcasts with a fellow coach. Again, it is just a label, but when you messaged me and you said about what you're fascinated with and deeply talk about, it really struck a chord in me. And I was like, okay, this is going to be a very interesting conversation because it's so much more than blah, blah, blah. And it's very out of the box. And it's actually very aligning right now with where I'm at and where I was just relating to someone my spiritual journey last night, and my God, like, Jody, you know it all. But you know nothing as well. And that's what keeps you humble. Like I'm gonna come to a question, right? But to kind of preface this question, I've sat with different masters and gurus. I hunkered for a long time to have a living master, to be at the feet of a living master, to receive the direct transmission. And I really honor that which was within me, that yearned for that, because it took me to many places and to make some sacrifices and to really ask from the depths of my soul for it to happen. And then as I was recounting last night in the candlelight, then it just happened. When I least expected it, it happened. And there it was. It was like, there is the living master in front of you. Oh my God. I'm in heaven. I'm in heaven. And it was literally heaven. It was actually everything disappeared and it was pure white light love. And there was nothing else in existence but pure white light love. And for a few moments, and then slowly the 3D came back in, and I was like in this state of revelation. And so, yeah. And then I spent a year and a half with that living master, and it was the happiest time of my life for sure. And easiest and most flowing and most blessed. And I really, really, really value and bow down to being in a place of that purity and that making space for it, making space for being with that direct transmission and that purity, because it is everything. So yeah. So what about you? What's yours? Like with reference to what I've just shared, I'm very curious as this story as a lead-in for what has been your spiritual journey and where are you now?
Well, you've certainly opened the door to quite some stories, so I hope we have enough time. Or I can try and make it a little bit more concise, because lately I was, sometimes looking back, very often looking back in my childhood, trying to make connections between different patterns and behaviors. And I was actually wondering, was there ever a moment when your spiritual journey started, or were you on a spiritual journey since you came, myself, on this earth? Because I remember myself feeling so unseen by my parents and feeling like I know so much, and then they simply don't see that I know. And it was a continuous feeling of I'm not being listened here, because I know a lot of things, but I'm not being let to express them. And it was a very Karl Lagerfeld said it in the most beautiful way possible. He said it was an insult for me to be a kid. And in a way, I can relate to that from a spiritual level, because I felt as a kid, I have so much understanding of what was going on around me. And I felt that what I've been told does not match with what I feel. And it's been a continuous conflict of trying to find my place in the world, because what I was being told didn't necessarily fit with me, didn't always make sense. And then many other experiences through my childhood, to the point that I was curious of what is behind what we see with our eyes. Or I was just picking up books of numerology, even though I would make very little understanding of them and just reading them. Or having all sorts of shakes and body sensations, all sorts of situations, like I couldn't get out of bed for 2 days. I couldn't move. I didn't know what's going on. Or all sorts of experiences. I'm looking back now. And obviously in Romania, where I grew up, in our time, like almost 40 years ago, probably 35 years ago, 30 years ago, there was no understanding and no space for something like this. And now I realize, and I relate with many people who wake up in places where they don't belong, are in situations where they don't belong, where they feel so different than the society around them, that it makes them feel completely annihilated and abnormal. And they cannot find their own truth, which sometimes, that did happen, that I met clients that they came to talk to me about certain issues in their lives, to realize that they actually are experiencing a sort of awakening, or have experienced a sort of awakening. And they've been trying to integrate this experience for years, and the world didn't make sense for them, because our culture, as many good friends of mine realized it as well and say it, much wiser friends, that it's not developed to support personal growth authentically. Our society is not developed to support the individuality of spirit to run through us. So maybe to that later. But then I always wanted to leave my home country because I couldn't find my place, and I felt like I couldn't grow the way I wanted to grow and express what I wanted to express. I felt some values were fundamentally contradictory, and I wanted to leave. So I ended up living in London. I have been offered a job there. I used to work with Citibank as a marketeer. I left there, and in London, it was probably one of the hardest periods of my life because I was disrooted from everything that I knew. And I also wanted to let go of everything that I knew, that part of me. So that made it very, very difficult for me until I moved to Abu Dhabi. Oh, when in London, actually, what happened really beautifully, I started to meditate by myself. No one actually taught me how to meditate. I just had a therapist who told me at some point, well, you know what, maybe you want to start just staring at the light sometimes, and just relax by looking at a light, a burning light. And I started to do that. And then I started to close my eyes, and then it started really comfortable inside. And then I realized that there is a whole world evolving from there. And then even more shortly after that, I started to have a lot of experiences with my body, with energy, which at that point were completely abnormal. I come from a space where my mother tells me, Cristina, there is no energy. It is your body and only what you feel. And it's been really, I've been doing a lot of continuous efforts to accept what is, and also accept that, you know, the beliefs and the constructs that I've been brought up with are just in my mind. And yeah, and then we moved to Abu Dhabi. I moved with my husband to Abu Dhabi. In 6 months, I somehow ended up in India. I had my first tantric meditation initiation with a beautiful guru woman from a lineage from India, and that's how it all started in India with a yoga teacher. And then yeah, each stage has so much richness and so much stories to itself that it's hard for me to select what to tell you from it. I guess what I experienced there was this sense of it was like a space of love and connection between people that's almost palpable in the air. And many times for me, it is like that. Like it's almost like you can feel it in the air. And it's so intense, it can be so intense that our humanness, and mostly the conditioned one, cannot hold it. And we are not used to living in such intense and high vibration. So that was really beautiful. I also noticed, a lot of about myself. I was really, really young and new to all this. And I thought I knew everything already myself too. So it was really beautiful, yes. I went back home. I started to meditate every day, 2 hours per day, intensely. I had all sorts of experiences. I had our meditation at that point were like lessons that we would get once in a while when we would feel ready, and we would get more lessons, and it would get even deeper, and it was really magic. The only thing is that I ended up breaking my back, literally. So I ended up developing, disc herniation and sciatic syndrome. And that happened in the retreat, in another retreat, because then I started to assist my teacher in her teacher trainings. So I started to help her be an assistant teacher. And in one of the trainings, I think about the third, my back gave up completely. And I always felt that, for example, me, I love teaching, but I could never go to a yoga class, because whenever I would be among many other people, I would end up injuring myself. And it's a symptom that happens to many other people. It's another discussion, especially people with predisposition to depression and hypermobile people. They get that quite often, and in public, being in groups intensify that symptom. So I injured my back, and then I was very, very at another end of a road, because I felt like that's it. I'm not going to be able to teach yoga anymore. And I felt, I have a dead end. You know, I chose this path of teaching yoga because when I moved to Abu Dhabi, I was meditating, and I asked myself, what do you truly want to do? Now that you moved countries, you have the opportunity to do what you want, truly what you want. For the first time, you are alone in your life. You have a husband who's supporting you and who's going to support you to do what you want. What do you really want to do? So I thought, okay, what do I really like to do? Be among free people who don't believe in hierarchies and imposed ideas, and who are free-spirited and like to move, use my body. I like to use my body, and yeah, I'm gonna teach yoga. So that's how it started. So it came from a very, very deep part of me, and I felt really stuck when that happened. I felt like that's the end. It was really hard. And a teacher I was working with in Abu Dhabi at the time, she said, look, you have to meet this man because he's known to do miracles. When I heard that word, I said, yes, a miracle is exactly
you
what
have
I
to
need.
meet this man and something.
Yes, he does miracles.
He does miracles.
Yes. So I said to myself, a miracle is exactly what I need. So I meet him, and to help me with my back. And he tells me, well, Cristina, you need to raise. And it's like your spine needs to awaken. That's why everything is stuck in there, in the lower bottom, and you get all these unbalances. So your spine needs to expand. And I was like, okay. And he started to work on me. And in the first session, I think I experienced the most complex, sophisticated arrays of fragrances of love, from love for everything that around, from giggling, from loving the world, loving him, mother love. And it was a full array of expansion on the feeling of love. And it was profoundly overwhelming. And I left out of there. I remember I couldn't even speak. I was in a space where I don't think I was touching the ground, actually. I don't know how I got it back in the car and I drove back home. It was like I've never met suffering in my life. Like I've never met pain in my life. A state where, I just realized everything else is a lie, and that we can live painless and without suffering when we accept this truth of ourselves. And so a very beautiful journey started. He became my teacher, my guru. And we spent many years together. I'm now still studying in various ways under him because he has many ways of teaching. I think we have already 6 years, out of which probably 3 I spent in India with him, traveling and organizing retreats for him, also organizing in Europe. When I moved to Europe, we are also preparing another one now in end of September in Mallorca. So a lot of work to support his mission here, and also, to be honest, to find myself ways and reasons to be around him, because I couldn't be away. And I realized that when I was around him, a lot of things changed in me, and I was changing a lot. I was learning a lot, but in the same time, the old structures of me were still present. And he had a very, very gracious way of just moving through those structures. Like, I would believe I know, I would believe I'm an expert, I would believe I already understand what he's doing. I would believe that I'm better than anyone else in his team of students, which we were quite a bunch, a small bunch actually, nothing more than 15, 20 people. And so I faced all these structures, and the more we went deeper into teacher trainings and deeper into work and deeper into more intense sadhana, and he teaches a form of Himalayan Kriya Yoga, which is channeled from the consciousness of Babaji, which I'm also facilitating sometimes. And the more I was doing the sadhana, the more I was facing these structures, and they became more and more aggressive and difficult for me. I started to have all sorts of feelings of being treated unjust, of feeling that my place is not there. A lot of somehow I was self-ejecting myself from that space, so I couldn't move forward. I felt I couldn't trust anyone. I felt very misplaced again. While in the same time, everything that was being told to me was that everything that we are sharing with you is love and comes from love. And we are here to help you. And I'm here to help you. I want to help you. But I felt so much rage. So it was a very contrasting experience for me. And I also soon realized that Kriya can be taught in different ways, and the way we work with energy can be actually the intensity and the speed, especially the speed. I find the speed is very important in these processes, can be a bit lower. Me, I'm a slow adapter, though my mother always told me, no, you adapt so well to stress. It's not true. My system actually needs a lot of time to adapt. So I realized that everything that was happening was very fast for me, and also the universe made it in such a way that we moved back to London. So in a way, I was self-ejecting myself from this space, and we got moved to London. Personally, we went through quite a rough situation as well. My husband lost his job. We were a bit not really homeless, but like we didn't really know what to do. So it was a really confusing situation, which I many times see it in the people that I work with. And what I learned from it is that many times when we transit from old structures, fundamentally old structures, to new structures, our whole world is shaken down, because we are opening up to living in new paradigms, and it doesn't always come in a suave flow. Sometimes it really shakes you down, because you need to learn to appreciate more what you have. One of the many other reasons. Anyhow, so what was really interesting, because at that point I was exploring with holotropic breath work. And so I've done some sessions before I started to do deep work with Guruji, and it was really beautiful. It was about my life and the relationship with my husband. And it's so interesting. I felt we were brothers before, because I felt we were both speaking Spanish, which actually happens now because we live in Spain. So it's so interesting, this connection with past and future, actually, in these spaces of our psyche. And it was really insightful. And then after I finished the experiences and the immersions with Guruji, I did again a holotropic experience, and my psyche had nothing to do with any sort of human experience anymore. My psyche was all about the connection with the earth, the light that moves through all of us, through the earth, promises that we have for the earth while we are here, and work that we are called to do to help this aliveness become more and more present and aware in our lives. And also so we can learn how to live by this consciousness, by this presence that is awake within us and within everything around us. Yeah, so it was really a big shift of a story, to be saying it in very simple words. And it was yet coming in a embodiment and a structure that was still very contracted. So for me, it was, how am I ever going to do this kind of work? And to the day, I don't feel still I'm honoring fully that mission that I feel I'm slowly growing into. It's still a path, but I'm starting to see tools, which is great, my tools. Because, yeah, I felt like he gave me a lot of tools, but I also feel like I can work with some of them, and other I'm still growing, and others I'm still realizing. So he gave me a lot of ways to bring people closer to this space. And as I am also letting go of the old structures and my own restrictions, more tools become available. So it's like an evolution process that's taking place ever since. It's still taking place. So just 1 second, I'm talking a lot. So then I moved to London. I was very, very troubled, upset, and leaving. I couldn't leave my purpose. I felt always that I'm something else than the one that I'm living, because deep in my heart, I felt I have a mission of light. I felt I have a mission for the earth. I have an energy mission. I felt I'm here to help people see the beauty and the love that is growing through everything in such power. And I felt so powerless in this mission. So powerless. I felt I cannot do anything. Like, I had no idea how I'm gonna do that. And I remember my teacher telling me, you maybe should try and do ayahuasca, because everything that I'm teaching you, it doesn't really, I cannot always reach you as much as I would like to. And I did ayahuasca, and I started with a retreat of 3 days. 4 days was the first one, actually. And it was an undescribable explosion of experiences of absolutely everything that my teacher told me, and even more. And I don't think I can describe in words any of the experiences I have, because then it gave birth to 3 years of deep exploration of my connection with this beautiful spirit, which taught me so many things and really helped me soften those old structures so I can receive the teachings of my teacher. And it was really, yes, I remember in one of the nights I was sitting with my hands on my knees, sort of a cross-leg position, and she was telling, so you are going to sit there quietly with such a motherly attitude. It was just coming. I didn't see anything. It was just coming. So you are going to sit there quietly, and you are going to wait and hear what everyone is telling to you. And you are going to learn like a good student, because that's what a good student does. Just sits and listens and understands and absorbs. And everyone has their place. And you will see how everyone fits in, because everyone is part of a big game. And everyone has a role. And I learned to be a student. And I feel that ever since I learned to be a student of everything. So my relationship with my teacher is more like a friendly one, because many times I'm just staring at the tree or at the bird and I'm just learning. So it's really easy now, because she taught me how to be a student. And okay, endless revelation with this beautiful spirit that we can have a full session about it at any time. And that brought me closer to my teacher, but also brought me closer to a sense of individuality in myself, where I didn't feel I need to take everything from him. And I felt like I can filter what I receive. And I also came to a point when I realized that, hey, I think I need to take a small step back and really focus a little bit more on myself so I can strengthen the connection purely with myself. So I'm not so always blown away by what's going on outside of me. Yeah, and then it started another journey of conscious experiences and therapies that I'm still currently developing. So I'm studying practicing a form of psychology for awakening people, where I'm learning to work with the different stages and structures of the ego, so I can allow people to let life in. So that's where coaching becomes more and more supported in my life and in what I do. And that's where I feel that also I have all these exotic experiences with amazing people, and I can connect and I can understand a lot and I can see a lot of what's going on. But I feel like, am I really going to be a shaman? No. Am I going to be a medicine woman? No. I didn't feel that is for me. Am I a Himalayan Kriya Yogi? Partially. I don't share the same wildness as they do, but in spirit I do share that wilderness. So I'm finding my own flavor and my own cocktail from all these experiences, which comes through coaching and through meditation and through breathing and through connecting with presence, and from presence accepting any gifts that are available for us. So in very few words, as few as I could.
That's wonderful. I can relate so much to a lot of what you've just shared, especially about being a student. Something I've been with the last few days. Like, I'm just a student. Like, and this idea or concept around following and leading. And someone said to me, you know, to be a great leader, you need to be a great follower. And then it was revealed to me, because following is watching, is listening, is observing, is witnessing. And it's also discerning. So it's like, again, this kind of studentship of truth, of love, of the divine, and receiving. And kind of being in a place of surrender and like, you know, I'm open, like, show me, I'm available. And again, it's like being a student and being actually completely open and empty to be able to receive all the blessings, all the gifts. And so when, and I see this so clearly now, like when one is a master, one is a true follower of that which one is master of. To use a kind of, simple phrasing. It's like, wow. Oh, like, I get it.
Yes. How else can we receive the whole beauty that is around us if we don't allow ourselves to learn? Because to learn something new and to be open and to be innocent. Because everything that we've learned so far from our society and from our people is that we have wars, we have viruses, we have governments that manipulate us, we have borders, we have constrictions, restrictions, diseases, problems in the family, in the friendships, conflicts, wars, and so forth and so on. So this is what we've learned. Where can we fit a miracle in here? But when we allow ourselves to be open to a new perspective, and this is not as easy as, because I know it's easy for me and you to talk about it, but I can connect with some of my clients, and they would look at me like, what is wrong with her? Like, what is she talking? Like how I would used to look at some people like, yeah, but they are special. They were born like that. It's okay. I'm not like them. So, but that's where I feel so called to do this coaching part and this bridge of the ego with essence, with presence, and from presence to essence. Because once we open up to the space from here, and we open up to the ability to think and feel and exist and behave from the body, then a lot of that conditioning automatically goes away. It's so much easier. We are so paralyzed here, and it's very hard to work into that process of disidentification. It takes time, and it takes experiences, and takes chemical imbalances, and it takes a lot in our physical and energetic system to undo that identity that we created. But when we start to live in the body, the truth becomes so much more imminent. Because what is in the body? And then when we start to move in the body, we automatically become so much more connected with the reality of ourselves. Oh, I had a fight with my mom and it was awful, and now I have to focus for this new presentation and I'm not going to be able to do it. Okay, what's going on in the body? It's like my heart is shrinking. Okay. That's what actually is going on. That's what's going on. Yeah.
The body never lies.
The body never lies. We don't know what to do. And then when we feel in the body, we feel that there is so much movement and so much agitation, and we realize, well, that probably is fear. Okay, let's see that. The body is telling us something all the time. All the time. And this has been for me the unexpected revelation. Now to come to the subject of our meeting, because after so many exotic, out of this world experiences, I've been always trying to make peace with the ego, to let me know to be with God. I wanted to go back. I wanted to go back where ayahuasca showed me. I wanted to go back where my teacher is always telling me that we are meant to be. I truly want to go back there. I want to live from there. My whole work is because I know that's where we belong. But I don't want to deny, I don't want to bypass what's in this physical aspect. I just don't want to go and bliss myself out and say, or connect with some beautiful spirits and divinities and say, my place is here. Something will always pull me back. That's how my journey has been. It's always pulled me back. That's why we go out as entrepreneurs with massive plans to change the world, and something is pulling us back. It's the same story. It's the same story. Because whatever is meant to support us is not clean and aligned with where we are wanting to go. And then I've tried so many things in probably 15 years to realize that even as a yoga teacher, I had no idea of this. I had no idea. After probably 7 years of teaching yoga, I did not really, truly, authentically surrender to the temple of my body. I did not. Because I would come off the mat and I would still feel okay, like this and like that. But do I really ask my body when I make a step forward? When I meet someone, do I really feel in my body? When I'm thinking of what I'm doing, am I doing it from my body? Yeah. No, the answer was no. So yes, this was the unexpected revelation, because in the end, divinity and liberation is such a simple fact, such a simple fact. When we just find the bridge that is right for ourselves, when we truly get to feel how our being is inside, how scared we are, how much anger some of us have, how much unheard we are, because all these aspects, how much pain some of us have. All these traits are there, carried by our souls from so many lifetimes, and plenty from this lifetime, and from all the mitochondria that we inherited from our mother. It's there. It's there. And I see many people in their spiritual past is still with them. So I always find that these things need to go together. They cannot, The body and the spirit, they evolve together. And the shaman told me one day, I told him, well, I was dying in all of his ceremonies, and I was in the world of spirits, and it wasn't pretty. I was so scared. And he told me, look, spirits are like people. They are exactly like people. The only difference is that they know God, but they still have karmic baggage. So that made me realize that we go back with it if we don't clean it. So sometimes I feel that it's more spiritual to be honest about our human limitation and embrace the struggles of a human being than have visions and clairvoyance, which, no, not saying equally a great gift. But I feel that it's an equally spiritual journey. I find that we live in an era where there is so much conscious opening to many of us, and we experience and we see so much from what our soul can take us to. But I also feel that humanness is still here to be healed, and it's in the body. The healing is in the body.
Wise words.
Yeah, they move me forward too. Thank you.
Yeah, I think you've given everyone who's watching, listening to this, a deep insight into reality.
Through reality.
What is real? And yeah, the fact is that if you're listening to this or watching this, you are a human being, you have a body, and that body is your vehicle in this world, in this reality. It's not a mistake.
It's not a curse.
It's not a curse.
It's not a pain. It's a gift.
It's a gift. Yeah. It's an instrument. It is, in some ways, you could call it a technology.
High, very sophisticated technology.
That you have been gifted. So do you take care of that technology?
Do you use it? Do you activate it?
Yeah, or are you careless with the technology? You know, I think everyone probably watching and listening to this call has dropped their smartphone on a pavement or on a hard floor and experienced what happens when it breaks, when the screen smashes. And it's like, oh, and sometimes some of us might keep doing that, but we get better at it, right? We get better at handling the smartphone. Maybe we're like, take precautions, like get a screen protector, get a cover,
Yes.
and like, yeah, maybe I won't do that with it. Maybe I'll keep it here or keep it in my bag so it's not, someone can't knock it on the floor, things like that, right? And it's just building awareness, presence to the thing. And I feel that's an analogy for presence to the body and what the body requires. It's like, oh, like the smartphone, it's run out of battery, right? Need to charge it. If I don't make sure it's charged before I go out, then I'm out, and then suddenly it doesn't work anymore. And then it's like, oh, and same with the body. You're not charging your body with the right things, the right fuel, the right medicine, the right environment, then empowerment, yeah, and thoughts, then it starts to dysfunction. And it doesn't give you the use and give you the fulfillment that you wish for, because there's a lack of care and attention. And it's like bringing it back to the present, to the reality. You got born into a body. Yeah, even however philosophical you might be, how deep you go on journeys in books and films and ideas and business concepts and whatever, adoration of others, of personalities, relationships, you're still in a body. And that body has needs. That body has absolute, complete uniqueness. It's unlike any other body.
And it holds truth.
And it holds truth. It is your vehicle. It's your soul's vehicle.
It's equally a source of consciousness.
Say that again?
It is equally a source of consciousness.
It is a source of consciousness.
Just love how your face just changed.
Can you listen to it? Like, how much do you listen to it? Because it tells you many things. It tells you many more things than you probably even ever realized. Just because you weren't taught that in school or by your parents doesn't mean it isn't true. You have to check it out for yourself. Look, experience, be a follower of your body.
Yes. I'm into that.
Yeah. And it seems so simple. It's like, it's sort of counterintuitive in a way. It's like, oh, but what's the system? What's the concept? Like, oh, people are looking for like the bright shiny thing or the smart hack. And it's just like, it's the most obvious. It's the most obvious. It's right here, right now, always. It's never anywhere else. Your body's never anywhere else, but right here, right now. Like, wake up to that. Can you wake up to that? to the now, the right here, right now of being in your body and what your body is showing you and telling you. You know? So
I have goosebumps as you talk.
Mm. And also being present to the body also can show us what is not body.
Mm. Yeah, I like that.
Mm.
Yeah,
What is
exactly.
perhaps not limited.
Yeah. And what is going on around us except the body? Yeah. And what is actually moving and happening and present around us, which is not necessarily the body. The body can perceive it for sure.
Mm.
The body can lead us, can help us feel it, see it, but it's not the body.
Mm. Who is aware of the body?
Hmm.
What is aware of the body?
Yeah.
The sensation, the experience.
Hmm.
Who is having that experience? What is having that experience? Good, great questions to have.
Indeed. And they are all available here and now. Yeah. And great questions to be in.
Yeah. Maybe if you play with those questions, then maybe you can spend $1 billion a day.
Or maybe you can save $1 billion a day.
Save $1 billion a day.
Yeah.
Everything is possible.
Yeah.
Because you are possibility itself. Perhaps.
Yeah.
Are you possibility itself?
Are you an embodiment of your truth? Truly.
Mm. What is
How exactly? How open are you to receiving?
Mm.
And how drawn are you truly within, drawn into your truth, or perhaps just trying to seek it somewhere else? Because all the masters and all the spirits so far, they all point back to love. And they all point back that love comes from within. And then we always run back to the master and say, give me some more, give me some more, give me some more. And they always tell you the same thing. The answer is always love, and love always comes from within. But then when we go within and it gets tough, we are, no, I need help from the master. But that toughness is perhaps exactly what we need to break one more wall down and access that state of authenticity and of purity within with a lot more ease.
Yeah, and so there's this concept of purification.
Yeah.
You want to speak to that?
Yeah, it's very interesting because it's a very interesting. I'm not sure if my ears are making a noise in the headphones. That's why I'm sometimes trying not to hit the earphones with them. So that's a very interesting term, purification, because it implies that something is not pure. So something is not pure, so we need to purify it. So automatically it creates the idea of not being right. And when we create the idea of not being right, immediately we have a state of not being okay. Not being okay is not love, it's a state of contraction. So the way we look at it as each part of ourselves, as it is, it holds truth. Even if it's spoiled, even if it's unbearable, even if it's crazy, even if it's, and I'm still exploring more aggressive ways of humanity, and probably, okay, that's a different topic on that end. But speaking about leadership and people who are seeking healing, there is no part of ourselves that's wrong. We are creating the right or wrong. And when we are creating the right or wrong, we, from our limited being, are saying what is potential and what is not. There is so much energy in aggressivity. There is so much energy in fear. There is so much energy in pain. But we keep them locked because we are so culturally not educated to deal with it. So we lock our emotions. Everything. You cannot receive not even a tornado of blessings when your emotions are locked. And you never receive anything. So my teacher had a very nice saying. There was this beautiful sage who went to Ramana Maharshi and said, Ramana Maharashi's endless stories about him, people having Kundalini awakening, heading tens of kilometers before him and just connecting with him and having awakenings. And,
oh, really? I haven't heard that.
No, okay. And there is this sage coming to Ramana, and I think the sage was actually a popular sage, someone very known, but unfortunately I'm not remembering the name right now, saying, Ramana Maharshi, I heard you can offer awakening or Shaktipat, one or the other. And Ramana Maharshi said, I do. Can you receive? Like that. It's like that. My teacher says there are masters showering us. The whole cosmic ray of all the light transmissions that are coming towards the earth are bombarding the earth with higher frequencies. Are we ready to receive? Are we? Because
that's it. It's everything right there. Are you ready? Can you empty? Are you empty? Or like, are you available? Are you present to what is?
Yes.
Oh no, because I'm in a contraction. I got to do this. I got to pay my bills. He left me. She left me. She loves me. Oh, I need that jacket. Oh, those diamonds. I want diamonds. I want a cruise ship. I want to be on a cruise ship. I want chocolate. Mommy, where are you?
And then blaming. I'm childish. Oh my God. I'm superficial. No, unacceptable. I'm materialistic. I'm such an awful person. Oh, I'm so negative. And then even more, hiding it then, moving into a different person, becoming someone else. And again, creating layer of lies after layer of lies. I wouldn't say lies. They are necessary for us. They are necessary to maintain a certain state of well-being. But when we really want to heal and we want to experience an effortless life, effortless will, effortless identity, not being afraid to be yourself, effortless peace, connecting easily with peace, and understanding success, getting security, effortless security, being able to live in effortless security. Because in effortless security, you may get finalists from everywhere else, but yourself, it is possible to be carried. Are you safe? Because it's not easy. That is also not easy. So are we truly able to receive? Yeah, and I feel that is what I was leaving. It's when we create this bashing on the ego. Personally, for me, it feels like we are creating another energy of constriction. So in the way I like to work is allowing an energy of acceptance of what is. Because one of the big words that came after my first ayahuasca was, when you are kind with your nature becomes kindness. When you are loving with your nature becomes loving. So the only way to change the paradox is by addressing it from a different one. That's how we change.
Opening and softening.
Yes. Yeah, there is nothing wrong with being aggressive. We've been so put down by our parents. Of course, we have all the rights to be aggressive. Now, let's find the right way to express that aggressivity so it doesn't hurt the one around us or ourselves back. That's what I would do. Of course, we are naturally aggressive. We've been told, we are born sages. All young kids, for the parents who have ears to listen, they are tremendously wise. Who is listening to them? No one. We are being told, you need to do this, you need to do this. I'm the grown up, I know better, someone knows better, you know nothing. You have to listen, you have to do like this. This is wrong, your instinct is wrong, your desires are wrong, everything is wrong. Of course we are angry. Of course we are afraid. Of course. How else? But then, are we going to get out of it if we punish ourselves for it? No. I mean, this given puzzle has been given like this, so we can find our way out by becoming what we want to be.
It makes me think of grandparents, actually.
Really?
Yeah, because it's like, grandparents really appreciating like a grandchild. Like, grandparents have got nothing to prove, so they can actually appreciate the grandchild. And that's totally what happened for me in my reality. Especially my grandmother was just like a pure source of undiluted affection and care, and accepted me totally. Didn't understand necessarily everything, but accepted me completely, totally. Never tried to change me. And there's something in that, the wise care that is not seeking to change. Again, it's that acceptance. And of course, you know, like, it's kind of like a universal, like, in some ways you could say, well, it's like universal divine mother energy. Like when I came to drink ayahuasca, I had a dream 2 nights before because I wasn't sure I was going to drink it. And then my grandmother appeared to me and gave me a drink, which was my favorite drink as a child. And then I woke up and I was like, oh, what? This is ayahuasca talking to me. And what is ayahuasca? But the loving grandmother, they call her abuela. The loving grandmother energy, like the wise feminine, right? Ultimately, the wise, loving feminine. And which is the creation, like it's the womb of creation as well. It's like it's everything. And yeah, when you were talking about like when you know, as a child or a baby come in and, you know, you're a wise, you know, you're a sage. I felt like there's something there with the grandparents and the baby as well, like something dynamic.
Interesting. Yes, because they've lived through their parenthood, right? So there is no more parenthood left.
Yeah.
So they are there just to see what is.
Yeah.
And they are also a bit off the whole, they are freed, many of them, from the conditioning, from the responsibility created by the conditioning of parenting. What is parenting, right? And some of my clients, we are really exploring all these conditionings. Oh, I need to be a good father. It's like, okay, but does it need to be a good father? I need to take care of this or this, because I really need to be a good father and have a good connection with my son. So there is assumption that there is not a connection with the son. So there is already a state of being where you are disconnected. But let's see how connected with your son, and let's take it from there. But yeah, it feels like the grandparents are there to see them, to truly see them. Yes, because they are freer.
Much freer. It's like a non-attachment.
Yeah.
And then
much
also,
more love. And much more open to love. No, sorry, that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to playfulness.
And and of course, like the elderly, the older they get, in some ways they can become more like a baby as well, right?
Yeah.
So I find that really fascinating and slightly terrifying, as well. Because
really, some grandparents.
Apparent loss of agency and power. Like you think of my grandmother, she was in a home for 4 years and she was just like lost all her faculties and was it was disturbing for me to come and see her, because it was like, oh my God, she looks like my grandmother, but the personality is not there. And, she's just literally being cared for like a baby in a cot. Helpless.
My
helpless.
Mother died of Parkinson too, my grandmother. So it sounds familiar when you say that. And I know that feeling of seeing the body, but the person not being there anymore.
Yeah. So there's something there as well. I feel like in that.
How we come and how we exit this world.
Yeah.
In this state of helpless, yes. Helpless.
Just being.
Surrendered. Yeah.
And needing to be cared for.
And needing to, indeed. Yeah. And how important it is, this being cared for, actually, and allowing ourselves to be cared for by our friends, I'm not saying allowing is opening up to a process that helps you understand how
receiving
and relate easier, right? And accepting the help of learning how to ask for the help of others.
Yeah.
I mean, till the day when I ask something, I apologize. Till the day. When help is there, of course people will help. And of course I will help at my end, but I still need to apologize.
And it's this kind of like receiving, right? Again, it's receiving.
Yeah, opening up to receiving everything, all the abundance that's available in people, in places, in events, in life situations. Yeah.
So babyhood is like involuntary receiving. You're forced to receive and you're forced to follow as a baby. Like end of life is also something similar in that you're forced to receive and follow and like, but you're a different stage. I'm just curious about that right now. Like, what can we learn? What is reflected here? What is the mirror here for us in this conversation, or anyone listening or watching right now, for like relevance to now, to your reality now? Like we talked about the body and all of that. And of course, it's care of the body. Ultimately, you have no power as a baby to take care of your own body. So you are absolutely just, okay, well, okay, mummy's picking me up now. Mummy's putting me on the breast. Okay. And that's kind of it. And then, like I can make a noise, I can make a sound when I'm like hungry or want more breast milk. That's pretty much it. Like for the first few months.
Yeah.
It's like, it's simple. It's very simple. But then like there's a feedback loop. We're following mother's and father's input, and that's the imprint, right? Then it becomes like this, the imprint of like how we're cared for then completely creates our reality. And it's it's been shown that we're in a state of like hypnosis, complete hypnosis for the first maybe 4 years of life, particularly total hypnosis. So we're totally programmed, you know, it's like absolute, there's no filter. It's like it is the program. You receive the program, you're an empty like piece of hardware, and someone is uploading or installing the software. Like, this is the software you're having. It's Windows 95. So sorry. Or whatever it is.
Yeah, I love the word software. It's babies when they are born, they are known to have the highest frequency. I think 925 or their bodies actually emanates that frequency.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's a state where the cell have the purity of which they have. And it can be sustained because, yes, they are continuously supported and they receive it because of that frequency. And then what happens, then the mother is breastfeeding, and sometimes she can, sometimes she cannot. Then she starts to breastfeed, she starts with something else, then the baby sometimes needs to sleep. And then there are all sorts of behaviors, who's taking care of the baby, how much mother, how much father, how much grandmother, and other things. And then there is a whole dynamic on how the baby keeps receiving love. And in case that love is not matched, how do we develop mechanisms to cope with that absence of love and to come back to the deep, to the love of the mother? And that's what starts to create our personality, and that's when the vibration starts to change as well.
And that's also, yeah, I love that. That's fascinating. I'm going to be digesting that. And then it's also like the attachment style as well, right? That we, you know, have. And I've been ruminating a lot over that, my own attachment style, which I discover has been avoidant, but also needy, like the other one as well. Both of them, but not chronic, like, but more needy than avoidant. So a little bit more needy than avoidant. And you know how we follow, as in how we are attached, is also how we lead as well. That's something to think about.
Yeah, I like
how we
that.
show up. And so like applying this to every aspect of our reality. Oh, so am I avoidant with my clients? Am I avoidant with my business? Am I avoidant with my job? Am I avoidant with my boss? Am I avoidant with my partner? Or am I needy? Am I clingy to my partner, to my job, to my house, to my money, to to God, to the divine, to right?
Exactly. Yeah, because it keeps replicating. This structure will keep replicating in all the aspects of your life, including your spiritual journey. Yeah.
Until we bring presence, enough presence to it, to see it and feel it and accept it and allow it and go.
And to realize who's actually there. Yes.
Yeah. Say again?
And to realize who's actually there.
Yeah.
Who's actually running the projection right now.
Yeah.
Who's actually doing this reality?
Yeah.
Is it my authentic being? Is it my deepest connection with my soul? Or is it a reminiscence of what I have inherited and built through my conditioned life? Yeah. And then there are even deeper ways of understanding these projections. The more deeper we go in the relationship with the parents and all the mechanisms we have developed to get the love, it's quite an interesting progression backwards that the more we start to explore it and to feel it in the body and to work with it, we learn to really free many of these karmic bonds that we still have with our parents, and open ourselves to more freedom and to our individuality arising more easily. But in the same way, because that happens in the body too. The relationship with the mother, with the father, it's in the body too. We hold that.
With God, Goddess, Source, with chocolate, with spaghetti.
The chocolate is the biggest teaser. There, we want the body to feel better.
Yeah. With sex.
Another big one, indeed. Yeah.
With money.
Yeah, a big one too. Shopping, fashion.
Shopping. Clothes. Hairdos. And and no judgment. Just
no judgment at all.
It's just
and is denying. So if I like to shop, denying myself for shopping in the long run will reduce my ability to connect with my energy and my life, because that need is still there. And I can work myself and I can open up the body in a way that stays in states of bliss. But there still is a part of me who's always is still there. It doesn't go away until I fully embody it and I accept it and I live it. It's still there, and it's somehow maybe I feel that not everyone is meant to become an embodiment of a god or goddess in this life. There is a way to embody divinity in this, through these lenses, through these structures of conditioning. So for example, because now the one with shopping came, people who really like shopping and fashion can make really good things when they accept it fully. And then when they embrace it, yes, I love shopping so much and makes me feel so good. And I know it is about, my mother and or I'm trying to be someone else, or I'm trying to feel so. But when you accept these things, how much creativity is it there open for it? And how much honesty and authenticity? Yes, I'm doing it because my mother liked to do it, and then I want to be better than her. I don't know.
Yeah, and so this is interesting. I just shopped for a new place to live, right?
Okay.
I said yes to it. And now I just realized that helps other shopping, because I was like, I'm gonna do 22 paintings, and I need a place to do the paintings, so I can't be traveling around to do the paintings. Like, oh, that's interesting. I've just committed to 3 months being in a place. And now I can go and shop for paints and canvases. And right, so there's a
ripple effect into the whole ecosystem around you, because when life moves through us, it doesn't expect us to look with some turbans, white stuff, and a diamond in front of the head. It just moves through every sort of piece of matter, whether it's a frog, a crocodile, a deer, or a lion, or a mountain, or a leaf, or a shaman, or a goddess, whatever it is. It just moves. Like the only way it moves through is to being honest with what truly moves through you, and then it just moves. And that's how miracles happen. The image is so less important. That's why we have, yes.
That's it. A miracle. What's a miracle? Let's dig down here. What is a miracle?
What is a miracle?
The unexpected. And
the unexpected with a healing and multi-beneficial property coming out of it. that benefits to all.
Benefit to all. It's movement.
Movement. Repairs.
It's a harmonic.
Yeah.
It's a harmonic impact. Harmonization. Repair, as you said.
Empowers, spreads.
It's transformation.
Transformation. Yeah.
Manifestation.
Yeah.
It's allowing.
Transformation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what needs to happen?
I wasn't.
To happen?
I haven't talked to my dad since I left Romania. So that's probably 12 years. Because he's not a very emotionally connecting person. So for some reason, since I left, he never called. And then I've done so much work all these years. And then I've been traveling so many places, and I've spent time with wonderful, out of this world people and experienced so much of our higher realities. And then when I truly looked at healing the connection with my father, through actually a process of healing the power of will, I did the work and I realized how much of my relationship with the world pretty much was coming from my little girl who was asking from my father to see her. And I realized how much I was, through the way I was promoting myself, I was building my website, I was just asking my daddy to see me. And I've connected with his space so profoundly, and an energetic connection with him opened somewhere in my field. And I was able to truly ask what I truly wanted. And it was really precious to realize how much, despite the fact that I never felt connected with my father, to realize that I actually love him as a little girl. I was adoring my father. And then my father, when I went home a couple of weeks ago, he told me he starts to read spiritual books. I recommended him The Power of Now and Emotional Healing from Osho. And he started to read them. And he writes to me about what he understands meditation and consciousness. So now he writes to me. For me, this is a miracle. For me, this is a miracle. Because I did nothing to repair my relationship with him. Nothing. But when I was open to what was truly going on in me, in the relationship with him, actually, at a very profound level, this started to happen.
Yeah, so you did nothing, but you were open to everything.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
And to be honest, at the beginning, I was a little bit pushed back because I felt like I haven't talked to this person for 12 years. What am I going to tell to him now? And he wants to be profound with me. And I'm like, really? But I just stood back and I said, well, okay. It's a talk which you can be comfortable in as well. So it's a connection between us now. And that's a miracle for me. It's such a big miracle.
It's interesting. Yeah. It's beautiful.
It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to, I mean, yes, of course, when we heal terminal diseases and when people experience such deep transformation, let's make it like it is strikingly a miracle. But miracle happens when we actually are able to change something from their innate state of being. So there was no real pressure on my father, nor on me. It just happened. That for me is a miracle.
Yeah. Just to punctuate, because sometimes reality, the universe the divine synchronicity likes to punctuate things. I don't know if you've noticed.
Yes. Make sure we absorb it fully.
Yeah, I'm getting notifications on my phone, and my father's just messaged me.
Really?
Yeah, really.
I love this.
And not only that, but it gets more synchronous and fractal. The last message he sent me was that the Father's Day meditation healing journey that I led on Father's Day, he said it was very good. And that was about healing the father wound.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, the miracles. The beautiful miracles that open our life. Yeah. Thank you for
And I
sharing.
actually, and when I was leading the journey about healing the father wound, I was like, oh yeah, and I actually named it. I said my father, because he's in my group. He's like, he probably will see this, and he will probably watch. He's probably going to be listening to this right now. And just honoring that as well, honoring him, and it's the power of doing this work, bringing this presence to this. I mean,
Yeah, opening up to what's truly inside us, both the divine and the constriction.
yeah,
Opening up to the reality that our reality is expanding and contracting in waves, and it is happening. And there are moments when we experience success and expansion and people and love and connections, and then there are moments when we are going within and something pushes us in, and then our ability to move through this open close with the same kindness, with the same wisdom and understanding, really bringing us in time to keep operating from a deeper source within us.
so beautifully put. And yeah, and so bizarrely and wonderfully, miraculously, in me, for example, showing up through for my guidance and purpose, and last Sunday, let's say, in that moment, following my guidance, which I didn't even know what I was going to do, but it was just like happening, and I was just like following it, and just okay, yeah, lead me, I'm following. This is actually going to be a whole like deep journey of father wound healing. Okay, right, yeah, okay, and then so then that's also me opening to healing my father wound through being a vessel for others, facilitating others to heal or reconnect with their father wound. And in doing that, also my father is healing his father wound.
So for me, this is again another way of describing how the miracle works, because it ripples. It ripples. These changes just ripple through us. And then there are pathways of freedom and of liberation that we can all experience. And trust that we are more than these limitations, and truly experience, yes, free. And then, yes, I can feel love for my parents. And then make more space for love in our life. I can hold my truth close to my parents. So then make more space for authenticity in your life.
And of course, when we do hold our truth and we are fully embodying it, it's magnetic and attractive and seductive and intoxicating.
Contagious.
And people are like, I don't know what you're doing or what you're on, but I want some. Oh, I want to come to your workshop. I want to be around you. I want some coaching. I want to like have dinner with you. I want more of this, whatever this is. And it's like, well, it's just space, actually.
Pure
There's
space.
nothing there.
Just simple, pure space.
Say again?
Just simple, pure space.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's one way to speak it. It's fullness, fulfilling, nothingness, space, like, as well. And the divine giggle, the cosmic jest of all of this, and the layers, and the through line for me also is like the divine masculine. Mm-hmm. So because also, for example, just to use that example of last week Father's Day thing, that I was just guided, and I was just like, allow myself to be guided and just channeling this healing journey. It's in some, I it's me embodying my divine masculine, showing up in my purpose, going, here I am, right, and this is what I'm sharing with you, like, with confidence. And so it's also like this divine feedback loop from the universe going, yes, good, yes, we like this, right? The universe putting its hand up, my dad putting his hand up, like my dad's dad putting his hand up in the background somewhere in infinity, going, thank you, I needed this, thank you for honoring me, and right, and all of that, right? And then us having this call and it coming through right now, and you speaking about your father, and then that triggering this story.
It still ripples.
Yeah, it ripples. And we're both showing up in this conversation actively, presently, in a divine masculine, right? That's a divine masculine, the active principle, the, right? Yeah, I'm doing this. We're here now. Let's, right? Like, yeah, I'm here, right? Let's go, right? Practical, right? Yeah, using technology, making this conversation, using words. Yeah. You embodying your purpose and what you do, speaking about what you do and doing it, right? It's also like offering service. It's service right now. This is service. This is you serving. This is me serving the people who are listening and watching.
Yeah. Service is such a big word. Such a big word. Indeed.
Yeah.
It feels like it's a lifetime of learning and of development through serving. Learning how to better serve by cleaning this instrument, cleaning this karmic baggage, cleaning these structures, and learning how to be with them, how to honor them, and in the end, be a better channel of service. Yeah. Well, I didn't really expect it that this is gonna be so expensive as it is. You know what? I have this big smile on my face. I can feel it.
I'm like,
and I was like, wow, this is so good.
Honored. Yeah, I'm honored to be a part of this with you.
I'm equally honored, and thank you so much for this amazing initiative and for this beautiful space and connection that you create.
So welcome. Yeah. Thank you for divinely punctuating this broadcast with your presence.
Thank you for offering me such a calm space and open space. It's been a real pleasure to just be here with you. A real pleasure. Thank you so much.
That's the name of the game, being here now.
Exactly.
Wink, wink, wink. So to punctuate the ending of this conversation, I would love people to know how they could know more about you, get hold of you, find you on the interwebs, that sort of thing.
Great.
Reach
Yeah.
out to you, blah, blah, blah.
Well, with pleasure. I have a website, which is called CristinaByoga.com at this point. And my name is
Cristina?
Cristina, yes, it's with CR. So Cristina B Yoga all
B?
together. Yoga.
Yoga. As
Yeah.
in BE, as in being.
As in letter B. So just because my name is Cristina Berar. So
Okay. So Cristina with just Cristina, and then letter B, and then yoga.
Yes.
.com.
Yeah.
Great.
Yes, this is my website. It's soon gonna change into a new one because I'm updating my work, the presentation of my work into a website which is gonna be called purebeing.coach, but this is later to come. Until then, I use CristinaByoga.com, and I also have a Facebook page which is called the same, CristinaByoga.com, and I have an Instagram account which is called the same, CristinaByoga.com. But to be honest, I have been a bit off social media lately because I find it a lot more powerful to connect with people from the now. And I also felt I need a little bit of a re-evaluation of how I want to engage with these channels, which I find very time consuming and keeping me away of what I actually need to do. But my accounts are still there. I'm not publishing as often as I used to, maybe a little bit more in the future, but for the moment, they are just there. And they are, presenting some of my work. So it's Cristina Berar. Yeah.
Okay. And presumably people could go to your website and then send you an email.
Yeah, I think the website is more updated. Yeah. And then they can find my contact details and more information.
Great.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to share about any of that, or?
I'm not sure. No. You mean about the contact details?
Yeah, or anything else you're offering?
Yeah, I'm soon gonna start a new program, which is gonna be announced through my mailing list. So if anyone would like to be updated, and they can just do that by contacting me in any way via email or via WhatsApp, and I can just add them to my list. It's a program that teaches us how to express our will in a less efforting way and not needing to fight and push and struggle so much for life. And in the meantime, I'm working and updating the overall presentation because it's more about this pure being empowerment, this pure being facilitation, and our ability to work and heal more from the space of presence.
Beautiful. Amazing.
Thank you, and thank you so much for hosting me. Thank you so much for being such a lovely host and stirring up, opening up the conversation in such a effortless way and making me feel so welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you for welcoming me, my welcomingness. Yeah. It's been a real pleasure, true pleasure. I look forward to connecting with you again. And see you soon.
See you soon. Thank you so much. Bye. Bye.
Great. Recording stopped. Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It felt really, really good. Thank you. And it was so easy. And really,
so easy.
I felt very held. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. I got to go. I just got a notification that I'm on I've got another Zoom I've got to get onto. So I'll be in touch, and I'll get this out. I mean, it's already on YouTube, but are we still streaming even?
What are what are the next steps now? Will you send to me some info about what's going to happen?
Yeah, I'll send you.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.